We are going to learn how to do factor label problems today. A factor label problem is a method of solving conversions where we start out with one unit and we want to finish with a different unit for our answer. Factor labels are based off of these equivalent statements where we have two different numbers, but because of their units, we have equal quantities. We're always going to start with what we know. So step one, find what you know. We're going to write a K above that and what you don't know. Which we will use a question mark for. Identify what you know, what you don't know. K is going to go in our top left box. Step 3, make units cancel. Until you're left with only the question mark unit. So in the first problem, read the problem. Inside the problem, find the number that's given to you, 16.5 inches. That's what we know. How many yards? Find your question word, how, and the units that's connected to that, yards. That's what we're trying to find out. Start with what we know. So the 16.5 yard or inches goes in our top left box. We don't want inches, so we're going to put them on the bottom. I'm going to look at the top and find a conversion that's going to get me closer to yards. 12 inches equals 1 foot. And then since my units inches are on the top and on the bottom, they can cross off. Now if I stopped here, my answer would be in feet, but that's not yards, so I need feet to go away. To do that, I put them opposite of where they currently are, which is on the bottom, since they were on the top. 3 feet is equal to 1 yard. And that's coming from right here, this conversion. Then I'm just going to do my math, and to do the math, multiply all your tops, divide by all of your bottoms. Make sure to put your bottoms specifically in parentheses, hold on to them. These brackets are like a pair of hands, hold on to your bottoms. The number that comes out in your calculator is 0.45833. Significant figures. We get that from what we know inside the problem. 16.5 has 3 sig figs. 1, 2, 3 equals 0.458. And the unit that should be on our answer is the one that we didn't cross off. It should also be the same one that we question marked in our problem. Yards. Box your answer so it's easy to find. Problem 2, how many, there's a question word, yards, are in 25 miles. That's a number, so that's what we know. Start with what we know. 25 miles. We don't want miles, so we're going to put them down on the bottom. For every 1 mile, there's 5,280 feet. Miles crossed off because they're on the top and bottom. Then for every 3 feet, there's 1 yard. Multiply your tops, 25 times 5,280 times 1. Don't really need to do the ones. So 25 times 5,280 divided by 3 equals, the calculator says, 44,000 yards. Because this number has 2 sig figs, my answer can have 2 sig figs. 44 already has the 2 sig figs, so we're good right there. Number 3, looking for numbers. 55 centuries ago is what we know. How many years? Question mark. 55 centuries. Move that down. 55 centuries is what we know. How many years is our question mark? For every 1 century, there is 100 years. Again, I'm finding that from up at the top. Since I know century has to be on the bottom, the number in front of century is 1. Opposite of century in my equivalent statement is 100 years. Writing that as a fraction right here, centuries cross off, equals 5,500 years. The 55 centuries has 2 sig figs, so I get 2 sig figs in my answer. That's good. Unit is years. Problem number 4. On a trip to a remote fishing camp in Canada, you see a road sign that tells you the next town is 84 kilometers away. That's our number, that's what we know. How, question word, many miles, question mark, do you have to travel to get to the next town? Start with what you know, 84 kilometers. Now, kilometers is in metric, miles is in the English system of measurement, so we need to switch from kilometers to miles. To do that, we need to find a conversion that goes from a metric length to an English length. 2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch. This is our halfway point in this problem. Every 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. Kilometers will cross off. We don't want meters. Every 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. This will cross off. Now we can use our centimeter to inch conversion. 1 inch was 2.54 centimeters. Then we're going to go from inches to feet. 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. And finally, 5,280 feet equal to 1 mile. In the calculator, remembering to put parentheses on the bottom when you multiply all of your bottoms, we get the number 52.195. 84 kilometers has 2 sig figs, so 1, 2 place values. 2 followed by 1 stays at 2. This turns into 52 miles with the appropriate sig figs. Number 5, question word how many days? So there's our question mark. Must you wait for 48,987 minutes to pass? Start with what you know, 48,987 minutes. Get rid of minutes. There are 60 minutes in 1 hour. And then there are 24 hours in 1 day. So units to cross off. Don't forget to put parentheses on the bottom when you do multiply your bottoms. Calculator tells you 34.01875. We are allowed to have 3 sig figs, or excuse me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sig figs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which turns into 34.019 days. Like so. 8 followed by 7 rounds that 8 right up. How many meters are in 4.75 centimeters? How many meters? Question mark. We know the 4.75. For every 100 centimeters, there is 1 meter. Centimeters cross off. Gives me 0.0475 meters. 3 sig figs to start with. 3 in our answer. Notice we are not using significant figures from our equivalent statements. Those do not count for sig figs. They are known facts, they don't count. Only measured values provided in the problem. I'll move on to the part on page 2 in just a minute.